Syracuse at UNC this weekend. You know what Syracuse is doing? They are protecting their momentum against the changeup that is Syracuse basketball. UNC has really climbed up higher and higher and higher in my legitimacy estimation, right? How legit are they? Well, right now, much more legit than they were 5 games ago. 5 games ago, they were coming off back-to-back losses to UConn and Kentucky. They then ripped off 5 consecutive wins, including against number 7 Oklahoma, Pitt, Clemson, and most recently NC State. But here's the reason why they're more legit to me. They did it with their defense. And as much as I love offense, and offense wins games, and I mean, we know defense wins championships, right? And do you know what else we know about defense? It slumps a lot less often. Great shooting teams have cold shooting nights. There aren't many great defensive teams that, I don't know, I got the yips. I can't play defense tonight.
Right. Man, I don't know how to close out.
Normally I make these closeouts, but today they're just clanking off the left side of the rim. That doesn't happen, right? Normally I keep guys in front of me, but today I can't make the right read. That doesn't happen. Defense is more slump proof. Now, if there is a concern for this weekend, it's Syracuse can be weird, right? They may not be as weird as they were under Jim Boeheim when it was 2-3 zone till we die, but they're still weird. They still play a lot of 2-3 zone. They're still lanky. They're still looking for tips in the passing lane. And the easiest way to beat Syracuse is something that I'm not sure UNC has. The easiest way to beat Syracuse is to have multiple knockdown shooters. Right, you get it into the teeth of whatever zone they're playing, they collapse, and then whoever's in the middle has to make the reads and kick out to open three-point shooters. UNC is a solid shooting team, don't get me wrong, but I think they'll have to work harder to beat that pesky Syracuse zone than some other teams. Like R.J. Davis, wherever he is, they're going to know where he is. Who else? Is it going to be Cormac Ryan? Is it going to be someone like Harrison Ingram? Who's going to be the other guy that can knock down threes and keep that defense moving? Because you got to move it side to side. You got to get it into the teeth of the zone, and then you got to be ready to knock down jumpers when you swing. Here's what's on the line, though. If UNC takes care of business, at home, by the way, if they take care of business at home against Syracuse, you're a top 3 team in the country. And that matters. That matters. Why? Because it builds up margin of error. Right? If you're a top 3 team in the country and you lose a hard-fought game in the ACC, you're the 8th team in the country. If you're the 8th team in the country and you lose, you're the 19th team in the country. Right, what you're doing is you're building yourself up a cushion to still be a legitimate contender, to still be one of those top 4 or 5 seeds in the NCAA tournament, to still be up there with the best of the best. You can lose games and still be good. It's why the preseason polls matter. I hate every single year when the preseason top 25 comes out in any sport and you talk about who's snubbed, who's high, whoa, look at this team, and then immediately you get the 900 people telling you, it doesn't matter, it's a preseason poll. I'm going, well, it is where you started. And if you lose and you're 4th in the preseason poll, you fall to 11th. If you lose and you're unranked, you fall even further unranked, and it's a longer trip up. To use an ACC example, Duke was number 2 in the country in the preseason poll, right? They had a really rough November and early December. They fell to 22. Other teams with that exact same situation would have fallen to 75th. So now Duke's turned it around. They're playing better. They're back up near the top 10, might be top 10 by the time that the rankings are updated, and they're set up for a nice little run here down the end of the year. And most of that is because where they were preseason. UNC getting up into the top 3 does that same thing, but just the midseason equivalent, so there's less time for you to mess it up. It matters. It matters. So go win this one, and then, don't what did Nick Saban say? We'll use him. Don't eat the rat poison, right? Don't start feeling yourself too much. But it matters. I'm all about getting the ACC as many top seeds and as many teams in the NCAA tournament as possible. We're not getting much help from the bottom of the division or the bottom of the conference. Clemson's on a 3-game skid, just got smoked by Virginia Tech. Thought they were going to be in. Miami just got beat by Louisville. Ugh, thought Miami was going to be one of the ones we could depend on. So I don't know who we're depending on yet, but I know North Carolina needs to be a top seed. They're kind of a flag bearer for the conference right now. Needs to happen.